This is Peter Burns from Ambrosia Academy of Astrology, doing a sample horary astrology reading for the question, will my flight be cancelled, which was asked by a client during the spate of recent flight cancellations from Melbourne Airport. She was concerned that she would miss her flight. The chart is shown here. The sign on the rising is 5 degrees of Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by the planet Saturn. This is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, and we find that Saturn in this particular chart is placed in the 9th house of the chart, in the sign of Libra. The querent is therefore represented by Saturn, and Saturn is exalted in the sign of Libra. The moon represents the querent's emotions, and in the sign of Scorpio it is in its fall. She is going through a difficult phase of fear and anxiety about the flight cancellation, which is quite obvious and clear. The moon is sextile Pluto. We don't actually use the outer planets in traditional horary astrology unless they are right on an angle or conjunct within a degree or two of a important significator. The moon is opposing Mars by a wide opposition. Both are in signs of debility, with the moon with Mars in the sign of its detriment, and they are both in mutual reception, unable, however, to help each other very much because they are in the signs of their debility. Saturn represents the ash in the air. Saturn is elevated in this particular chart, and it is in the sign of its exaltation, and exaltation means to be held high. Spica, the fixed star Spica, this fixed star of protection, very benefic star, is upon the midheaven, providing a strong indication that the querent, the client, will be protected in this particular case. And the planet which rules flight is Mercury. This is the planet represented with wings. It is in the sign of Gemini, and also the sign on the cusp of the 9th house of travel and flight is Virgo, and Mercury rules the sign of Virgo, and Mercury itself, as we've seen, is in the sign of Gemini. Its essence is very strong. It's in a very powerful position, providing a strong indication that the flight will go ahead, and is also conjunct the part of fortune. Again, another positive indicator. I cover the Arabian parts in a separate video and also in lesson 15 of my horary astrology course, correspondence course. You'll notice also that Mercury is combust, which is potentially a very negative indication, except that Mercury is in its own sign and disposits the Sun, and therefore has power over the Sun in this particular case. Mercury is also very strong because it's in the sign of its triplicity rulership. It rules the air elements during the night time, and of course this is a night chart with the Sun below the horizon. Again, the triplicity strength gives it extra strength and power. We find that the two benefics, Venus and Jupiter, are both aspecting the ascendant, providing more positive indications that the flight will go ahead. We always need to weigh out the positives and the negatives, the major negative being the debilitated moon with its wide opposition to the planet Mars. And the positives are the conjunction of Spica to the midheaven, Mercury's dignity by rulership and by triplicity, its conjunction to the part of fortune, and the application of the two benefics to the ascendant. The positives clearly outweigh the negatives, so the answer is no, your flight will not be cancelled. If you'd like to learn more about horary astrology, this is my email address, and below, of course, is my website. Thank you for watching the video.